Hello and welcome to the Mix Era Rap Podcast. I'm your host, DJ B Wise. This is a podcast where we talk about hip hop from boom bap to trap. We are a group of hip hop enthusiasts from multiple eras trying to bridge the gap in hip hop. My co-hosts are Kev, and we were able to bring back our guest from last week, the most powerful and knowledgeable DJ Reaper. So for tonight's podcast, we're going to jump into the album review of AZ's project, Do or Die 2. We're going to talk hip hop, Fat Joe and Ja Rule, Verzus, and we're going to talk about our all double albums from rap trash. So you can follow us on social media at Instagram, which would be Mix Era Rap Pod. That's Mix Era Rap Pod on Instagram. And then you can also follow us on Twitter at Mix Era Rap. Again, that's Mix Era Rap on Instagram. All right, so let's jump into the Do or Die 2, AZ's new project, with the song that we thought was a standout, and that is Keep It Real.
Those that got their paper up and pedal past the oppression for being trapped in them poverty-stricken, urban, overpopulated projects.
You don't make a real nigga.
Dignity before the dollars.
It's a real nigga.
Sanity over sucker shit.
That feels nigga.
Salute to the real ones.
Real with ya. Real niggas. They keep it real with ya. Real niggas. They keep it real with ya.
Search on, I'm solid, my word born. The wise acknowledge, I'm polished, my word long. I get it on, put that on my firstborn, I'm about it. Stand strong, been quenched, the dirt's gone, I do this. Stay feet away from the doulas, never fold, was told on fraternize with the foolish codes.
All right, and that was Keep It Real from AZ's Do or Die 2 project. So let's jump into it. I really want to really dive deep into this project. So, you know, the first song on the album was a intro that had Idris Elba, and it was very powerful to me. So I want to see where the fellas are with this. So, fellas, where were you on the intro for Do or Die 2?
It was good. You know, with Idris being a huge hip hop fan, and for AZ to even have that connection to get him on, I think that says a lot about who AZ is behind the scenes. You know, if you're not familiar with some of AZ's earlier work, then you know you might not even understand how he was able to get this huge movie star to even do this small part on the intro of his album. So whatever connections he got, and I was shocked. You know, it just does a lot in hip hop outside of just his DJing gigs. So just to hear that was a surprise to me, and kind of, it was like, wow, AZ has this connection. So it was a shock, but I can understand, you know, how AZ he's just a smooth guy. So it's nothing for Idris to do this for him.
Yeah, I feel you on that, Kev. What are your thoughts, Reaper? I'm telling you, man, I just thought it was the realness. I really thought it was very powerful.
You know what? I like Idris Elba as much as the next person, or should I say black or brown person, because people seem to love him blindly, but that's another story. And I like the message. I like the words that he was saying, but the R&B singer in the background really was out of place to me. I didn't really like that at all. So honestly, I would have rather had him come in cold, like no music, just a cappella. Just, you know, we started off as kings and queens, and all of that stuff in between is just part of the process, fade, go to the next song. Like all of that other stuff was unnecessary, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's probably a little bit of the producer trying to, you know, throw a little pizzazz into it, you know. Yeah. All right. So those, you know, that's where we are. Anybody, any songs outside of Keep It Real stood out to anybody? You know, for me, I was really let's jump into features. This was not after us having to deal with these two feature heavy albums from Drake and Kanye. I thought it was very refreshing to have to deal with all these features. So AZ did have a few features. Did any features stand out to anybody?
I didn't mind the Lil Wayne feature. I think that his skill set is declining over the years, but shocking that he paired him with Conway, but I think it kind of all tied in together. The Rick Ross feature was enjoyable because it was just a beat that just fits Rick Ross style. I really did like the Dave East one. That was one of my favorites. And the Jaheim.
Yeah, Dave definitely stood out on that
what?
joint. Dave East definitely stood out.
Yeah. Dave East is like he's in another zone right now. So whatever he was doing before 2021, I don't know, but he fixed those issues. I mean, we talked about his album earlier this year, so and the Jaheim lead single wasn't that bad,
No doubt. Good looking for Jaheim. A good look for Jaheim. I really appreciated that. He's been through some troubles these days, but definitely that was a good look.
Yeah. So even that, that Jaheim single was like a surprise for it to be it's the lead single, and you got Lil Wayne and Rick Ross on your album, but you give Jaheim your lead single, so but it was a good song though. You know what I mean? It was a good song. It's a nice radio song. It's something smooth. It's I think it's enjoyable to a lot of people, in my opinion. But I don't know where a lot of hip hop fans are at today. So
yeah, I feel you on that. Reaper, you think that one is a club banger or no?
No. Yeah. I mean, you know this, man. I just let y'all have the floor on that. Y'all praising the features and everything. I'm gonna go the opposite way, man. The features and some other stuff we'll talk about later, but the features for me is what's holding this album back from being great. Outside of the Rose Rick Ross feature, I'll pass on every feature on the record, every single one. Davies, take.
Even Davies?
Nope, Davies, take them off. Wheezy, take them off. And look, again, because for the listeners that don't know, I work in audio and video production as like my day job.
Okay.
The Lil Wayne verse was not recorded in the same room as AZ, and the decibel level is maybe about 2 notches below AZ's, and you can hear it. And I don't know if everybody can. I can hear it. It needs to be mixed again. It's not the same level.
Yeah, I mean, yes, the sound was different.
Anyway, and the I went on a 5 or 6 minute rant yesterday about Jaheim on so research or whatever will tell you the last AZ record that came out was a decade ago plus. So perhaps he recorded this record with Jaheim a long time ago and it just never came out. But why in the world in 2021 would you put Jaheim on a record? Now somebody told me Jaheim's had some troubles and maybe he's on drugs or whatever. But I'm not here for all of that. Even in Jaheim's heyday in 02, 03, just in case Jaheim, right? Was he featured on rappers' songs like that? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think so.
No, wasn't.
I think that song is being held back by Jaheim. You could have put a new up and coming R&B singer on there. You could have put, I was trying to think if he was trying to recreate the Do or Die vibe, that mid 90s, mafioso sort of boom bap, New York rap. Maybe you could bring John B or Casey and JoJo, or you know what I mean? But
Casey and JoJo's worse than Jaheim.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's just trying to throw in a bone. He's trying to throw a bone.
But that's what I'm saying. Maybe he's trying to throw him a bone, but I don't know. Like, just get that man some money. Like, if he hard on his luck, get that man some money to get his life right, or get him into rehab, or don't put him on the record, man. That Jaheim song is a pass, a super pass for me. And all of the features on the record. I mean, the Lil Wayne verse was cool, like some of the stuff, the wordplay and stuff, but even his delivery, like he sort of sounded like he was phoning in. Like he didn't really sound like he was interested in the beat. You know what I mean?
Definitely. That was my thoughts as well, Reaper. I'm telling you, I was not feeling it. I thought he was on some other shit. It didn't fit right. Again, I'm a huge fan of Conway the Machine. So I thought he came on the track strong. AZ was beating down. He was bullying the beat. He was riding it hard. And then you get this lower
yeah, man.
like there was just nothing in it. It was like and I was like, nah, I'm not feeling this.
Man, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I don't know. Lil Wayne is. I'm not the biggest Lil Wayne fan recently, but I didn't think this was. I think this has been one of his best verses that he produced. I mean, put out in a few years. But I really like the Dave East one. I could give you Lil Wayne. I could give you Jaheim, but I don't know about the Dave East one, man. I really, really like that one.
But you know what it is, man? I'm not saying Dave East is weak or he can't rap or that the verse is bad. I would just pass on the whole song for real. Like I don't think Dave East. First of all, I'm not a fan of the topic and the presentation of the song overall, but I think the song could be slightly stronger if Dave East wasn't on it. I don't think he matches the song, is what I'm saying.
Okay, I give you that.
Because even not to go.
I disagree on that one. I thought that AZ picked this beat for him so that he could do his slow grind, whatever rap that he does, because the rest of the album had a higher tempo. And that this particular track, he did choose a much slower tempo for that one.
Yeah, well, eventually we're gonna talk about production, and I'm gonna go on another rant. So, actually, you mind if we just do that right now since we're on it?
Let's get into it. Production.
All right, man. Yeah, man. Dude, go ahead. Do the intro, man.
You don't even need an intro. Just jump in.
That's how we segue into things. Let's talk about it.
Well, look, man, I promise you on everything. I listened to the album straight through twice before looking at the features, before looking at the production, because I just want to have the album on, and then Wheezy come on. It's like, oh, is that Wheezy? Okay. Oh, is that Dave East? Okay. Or if I hear a voice, it's like, man, who is that? Then I look, it's like, oh, okay, he got Raekwon on the track. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Whoever. Raekwon's not on the album, by the way, but I listened to the album twice through, all the way through, and the production is lacking, man. It's lacking. Like it's just, I don't know if it's his beat selection, AZ's beat selection, because if you listen to the first Do or Die, are the beats banging? Are they slamming? You know what I mean? Whatever the terminology was in '95, not really. And if you look at like even reviews from the '90s, people would say that's what's keeping Do or Die from being Illmatic, because the raps were tight, but the production is kind of whatever on some of the songs. Okay, so maybe AZ's just not good at picking beats. Okay, I'm fine with that. But I remember thinking, listening to the album twice through, why didn't he go back? If he's trying to recapture that 95, maybe even early 2000 sound, why doesn't he get DJ Premier? Hello, where's DJ Premier? There's no DJ Premier. I remember thinking, why doesn't he get the Heatmakers or Bink or Neo the Matrix or Pete Rock or any of those dudes, Q-Tip from that time? And lo and behold, I looked at the production notes. Bink is on the album. Alchemist is on the album. He could have got Just Blaze. There's no Just Blaze. There's no Primo. I believe Pete Rock is on one of the songs, and it's just kind of like, but he picked that song from Alchemist. Alchemist has been given Action Bronson and whoever else you want to name some heat on the underground circuit for years, and he picked that, and Bink gave him that, and it's just like, nah, man, this is weak. It's weak.
Well, I'll say this. Right before the album came out, Knife Wonder put out a tweet and he said that,
yo, Knife Wonder. Yeah.
I've been trying for the past, I think it was like 6-7 years to work with AZ and I could never make it happen, And that tweet kind of bothered me because I think that if this was a Knife Wonder and AZ produced album, it might have been a classic.
I agree with you, man. I mean, because even, and again, I'm not a complete fan of all of the stuff that Hit Boy's been doing with Nas, but Hit Boy's doing a good job updating Nas's sound so it doesn't sound like something from 1995. You know what I mean? But again, in this case, AZ was going for that, And again, I'll save that for later, but I'm not a big fan of like Do or Die. From 95, a lot of people's, especially heads are like, yo, this is a classic. It's, Illmatic 1.5 for all of, intents and purposes. But all of these years.
Who says that?
A lot of people say that, man. A lot of people say that.
Who said that?
A lot of people say that.
No. I'm not saying Do or Die 1 wasn't good, but but it's not Illmatic level though.
Do or Die was the jam.
No, but no. I'm not saying Illmatic level, but like it's like a companion piece. You know what I mean?
No, it's not.
No, it's not a.
I think
No, it's not.
Oh, yes, it is.
No, they are two different albums, man.
Yes,
No.
if you're a Nas fan, you accompany. So, say you're doing you cleaning up on a Saturday and you want to hear some Nas.
No.
You throw AZ in there. You throw that Firm Biz in there.
No. I'm gonna tell you, if you know what you play, okay, so you know what Do or Die would follow Reasonable Doubt.
yeah, maybe.
I will play Reasonable Doubt, and then I'll play AZ right behind that. AZ is not coming behind Illmatic. Do or Die is not coming behind Illmatic. It'll come behind Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do? You're gonna do Illmatic, Stillmatic, and then another Nas album? You want to mix it up a little bit. You don't want to hear throughout the whole.
No, I would do Illmatic and Cuban Links.
But that's the thing though, like Do or Die came out right at around the same time as Cuban Links, and it came out before Reasonable Doubt, and you could throw even It Was Written in there, that whole mafioso style. So
Yeah,
it belongs in that circle of records, you know what I mean?
They're different though. They're different.
I would go Illmatic, Do or Die, Cuban Links. I wouldn't put Cuban Links ahead of Do or Die.
Yeah, I'd probably do the same. Yeah, probably. Honestly, if I was listening to Illmatic though, I'd probably just stop listening to records after that though, because that's just
Yeah, boy, yeah.
I can.
Absolute masterpiece, definitely.
The production wasn't the greatest, and I think that's the only negative thing I could really say. But it wasn't like, I don't think
Those are fighting words. Now you talking about my man. No. Arch Professor put his foot in Illmatic.
what
yeah, man.
I'm talking about. Do or Die.
Oh, okay. Don't.
I'm talking about Do or Die. Do or Die 2, not the first one, the second one. Illmatic is just the I don't know. It's one of those classics that you can't put in the realm of other classic albums.
Yeah, it's like greatest of all time. Yeah, for sure.
Like it's a classic that stands alone. Like you can't compare Illmatic to Reasonable Doubt or Life After Death or Cuban Links or even even the first Wu-Tang album. Like Illmatic is just in another class by itself. It's just something totally, it's out of this world. But this AZ album, I will give you that the production wasn't the greatest, but I don't think it was bad. Maybe I'm just a big AZ fan. Overall, I think it was maybe a B minus, C plus maybe, but it fit the
Project as a whole?
No, his production. The production.
Oh, okay. Well, and let me jump in on the production, guys, because I know y'all beating them up on this production. Don't forget, we've had this conversation too, Kev. The older artists are getting beat up in the pocket on these beats nowadays, so it's hard to afford one of Alchemist's babies. You know, everybody can't afford one of his baby beats.
But Knife Wonder got a beat tape for him. And I'm with the bet you Knife Wonder ain't gonna hit him on the head.
I understand.
Right.
We don't know what his management is wanting him to do. We don't know what the label wanted him to do. So you can't just say, I want Knife Wonder. If you're trying to get a project put out, you got to do what you got to do to get the project put out.
But I don't think he'd have hit him over his head, though.
I understand, but if the record company is saying, yeah, we can't afford Knife Wonder, so you this is what you got to work with. You get a budget for your project, and that's what you have to work off of. Now, if Knife Wonder was willing to take what the money was from the project, then great. Yes, do that. But obviously it wasn't. It wasn't the money that Knife Wonder wanted. So he was not a part of the project.
Or you could just not call it Do or Die 2, just call it something else.
That's true.
So yeah.
Now, that is very true, Reaper.
Yeah.
Name that something else, definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick that in there right now because yeah, like I said, I'm not a fan of especially like if Nas came out with Illmatic 2, I promise you I would not listen to it. I promise you I would not listen to it because sequels after a long time, so I will throw in Cuban Links. He did do Cuban Links Part 2, But if you listen to some of the other Raekwon records, it doesn't really sound like Cuban Links, and he had the whole mafioso and like the movie presentation, blah blah blah. So him doing Cuban Links 2 was like a return to that, a sequel, like how they did Godfather 3 years and years later. So I guess, but like Blueprint 2 doesn't sound like Blueprint. Blueprint 3 doesn't sound like Blueprint 2. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of sequelizing a classic or potential classic record all these years later? I don't know. Just call it the return of AZ or Mr. Asiatic or something. Or sequelize one of those albums that people don't care about, like Nine Lives or like Asiatic,
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt. I just think that it was a gimmick that his A&R said, "Hey, let's name it Do or Die," and maybe people will think you're at that level, And again, let me not say, because again, we're going into the weeds on the production and the features, but overall, his rap was on point. Every song was strong. Now, if I can't get in agreements with that, we can start fighting right now. But I'm telling you, every song I listened to, his flow on, his double entendres, his wordplay was strong on every song.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
But AZ has never really
yeah,
been a bad rapper to me.
right.
So I can give you that.
But
I never really heard him say a bad verse.
So that's what I'm saying. We at least got to give him credit for that. Again, he didn't push himself to match today's standards as far as what other older rappers are putting out. So we definitely, can knock him on that. But in general, if you're an old head like myself and you want to hear something from the golden era in a new platform, he gave you that. He gave you, here's some new style music, and here's a reminiscent rapper from the golden age who's going to make you feel like you're at home again. So when you listen to that Little Baby, you can take a break. When you listen to Dub Baby, you can take a break and listen to me. So I'm going to give him all the kudos for that. That's what I'm giving him kudos for, and say that, hey, I'll stream this all day behind, some of these knuckleheads that I listen to on a regular basis. I'll throw this on every time.
no, man, I mean, we haven't got to the verdict yet, but spoiler alert, I'm a pass. I'm a pass on it, man, because the thing about recreate, I mean, it works sometimes. Like the second Cuban Links record is tight, but recreating something from a previous era, be it boom bap or something in music, or like a period piece in a movie, you got to get all the details right, or it's not gonna work. And to me, the production and the features to an extent holds it back from being great. Like whether it's Ninth Wonder, even since we've gotten away from boom bap, because in 1995, 1996, that was just hip hop production. It wasn't New York style production or boom bap. That wasn't really a thing. I mean, it was a thing because KRS-One had Return to the Boom Bap in '93, but and G Funk was out and stuff. Yeah, I get it. Blah blah blah. But what I'm saying is now boom bap is a subgenre of its own. There's plenty of YouTube producers, SoundCloud producers, whatever you want to call them, that produce boom bap stuff reminiscent of 1995, 1994, whatever. You could have found some indie kid that listens to AZ and stuff from that era that probably would have made you a banger of a record that sounded like 1995 for $1,000 because he is in college or something like that. You know what I mean? Like a backpack kid. So I don't really want to hear that about Ninth Wonder and the you know what I mean? Like,
But how many people are actually looking at those guys though?
but what I'm saying is, if you are AZ, and again, if like Josh said, if the A&R or the executive producer, whatever, is trying to gimmick, and he named it Do or Die 2 to get record sales or to get people to even give AZ a look, because maybe if he called it 10 Lives, nobody would care, or Return of,
Right.
maybe nobody would care. So maybe it is a gimmick. But if he's actually trying to recreate the sounds of 95 with Do or Die, you gotta A&R. You gotta go out and find the people that's gonna give you that sound, not just look for famous people, famous producers. You gotta find that sound. And again, that's how you put people on. Like this 21-year-old kid that only listens to rap between 1993 and 1997. could have gave you a completely different record than that foolishness. Yeah, that foolishness. I said it. That AZ put on that record.
No doubt.
Y'all got the floor.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I'm totally with you on that, Reaper. For me, man, again, it's about it was a reasonable effort at presenting something for people who would appreciate it in this era because
Reasonable. Come on, man. But
reasonable. It was a reasonable effort at what think about it. If you got to listen to Playboy Cardi, if you got to listen to NBA YoungBoy every day, if you got to listen to a lot of this stuff that's out there, and you're over 40, you need a break. And all I'm saying is, AZ gave you a break. He gave us a break. He's like, hey, you remember me? I'm from the 90s. Let me crazy.
yeah, I get it, man. I think you cutting him a little bit too much slack. I think you cutting him a little bit too much slack, man, because
But you know what though? I think he hit the nail on the head. This is not I don't think this album is for someone under the age of 35.
Yeah, but again, man, y'all cutting them slack, man. Like, look, this is my stance on it, and you can agree or disagree. If you, as Nas, made Illmatic in 1994, and this was your debut record, you didn't make one or two or three sleepers and then built up to Illmatic like some other artists do. You came out the gate 17, 18 years old and made Illmatic top 5 records, hip hop records ever made. There's no reason for you to make anything else that's not that. You need to come with it every single time. As AZ, you had a feature on there. You come out in 95 with Do or Die, your best record by far. There's no reason for you to come less hard than that ever. If it's not as hard or harder, don't put it out.
I feel you on that, Reaper, but let me say this. As far as we know Nas, and Nas had a bunch of sleepers after Illmatic. Until Stillmatic, it was nothing in between that was, maybe one or two little things here and there. The best thing that ever happened to him was the beef with Jay-Z. And then since then, until King's Disease, it was a bunch of stuff that people wasn't feeling.
Come on, man. Oh, come on.
No.
Come on. I can't. Oh,
no. No. They were critical.
No, man. No.
Project saying that, but were they award-winning projects? And they weren't. That's why King's Disease is what it is, because that.
Come on, man. It was written.
Yeah, it was written for sure. Yeah, it was written as tight. Yeah, Godson is tight too.
And name a project between Stillmatic and King's Disease that was award-winning.
Godson.
Nah.
It was written.
Nah, none of
Street Disciples. Y'all sleeping on it.
Nah.
Yes, it was a double album. You sleeping on Street Disciples. I'm telling you.
Nah, you can have Street Disciples.
Listen to Street Disciples. I'm telling you, if you could pick and choose, I'm telling you, have that album, Street Disciples. I'm telling you,
there's a lot of skippable songs on those projects you named. I did not skip one song on King's Disease. I did not skip one song on Stillmatic. We all know you don't skip anything on Illmatic. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that I'm giving him this sleeper because of the times. And Kev and I, for the time we've been doing this show, have been begging for music to have this type of diversity. Let the old heads in here and get their thing on. Like Black Thought's album, was it the end all to be all? No, but it was a refresher. It was something worth listening to, but it wasn't something you were going like, I got to go to that every day. That's going to be an award winner there, baby. It wasn't, but it
was okay. It was a relatable album.
Yes,
it was a relatable. This new AZ album was very relatable. It didn't have the sound of what's going on now. It's not people getting drunk or people getting high or people having sex with this random female or your best friend's girlfriend or it. I don't know. Today, the landscape of today's rap where a lot of the younger guys, what they're actually talking about, everyone seems like they have the same message. So just to hear something that is not was considered the norm is probably why we like it more.
Definitely. I'm with you on that. So let's finish this one off with two little things here, and we'll finish this segment off. Let's go with the bonus track with T-Pain. Your thoughts on it? We already know Reaper is not gonna stream this one, but for Kevin, we'll do our stream. And I'm gonna jump in first and just say I'm not a huge fan of T-Pain, but I thought what he offered Jay-Z on that bonus track was well worth it being a bonus track. And for me, as an old head, and in this day and time, I would say stream this after you listen to Playboy Cardi, after you listen to NBA Youngboy, after you listen to Tootsie, after you listen to TJ. Play a little AZ. It'll make you feel better. Kev, your thoughts?
The T-Pain song, I think it fit in. It's I've been like since the album came out, I've been playing it like every day since then. So I don't skip anything on this album. I listen to it front to back. The AZ song wasn't bad. I mean, the T-Pain song wasn't bad. I mean, but it just fits into the album, and for me, it's a definite stream. Like we just said, it's something different from the norm of what's going on now, and it does have a somewhat of a '90s feel to it. Maybe we're just nostalgic for something different. So I think that's why we like it so much.
Yeah, no doubt, Kev. I'm telling you, I appreciate you on that one again, and that's why we do this show, because I want to hear what Reaper has to say. He's in a you're in a your ears are fresher than ours, and you've had an opportunity to hear things currently with a better ear than we have. My ear is still da ha da ha. For me to bring my ears up to what's being played now is tough and it's hard. That's why I thought that this platform would be strong, because we need more people in my age range, 50 and above, to listen to young people and let them tell you why they enjoy what's going on out there right now. So that is my thing. So Reaper, let's let you finish it off with your impressions on the T-Pain bonus track.
Like I said before, I think all of the features on the record are out of place. When you think AZ 95 or even AZ, 2002, like that Asiatic sort of Nine Lives, that era of stuff, T-Pain would be the last person I would ever think AZ would even want to collaborate with. That being said, the T-Pain feature, it was okay. I kind of feel like T-Pain outshined him on the record. Like, if AZ was taken off the record, I feel like that could have just been a T-Pain record and it would have had a whole different vibe. The same thing with the Rick Ross record too. I think it was more of a Rick Ross featuring AZ rather than AZ featuring Rick Ross. So overall thoughts on it though, I think it was okay, but I think it was out of place for AZ or AZ Do or Die.
I got you on that one. All right. Well, very enjoyable conversation, gentlemen. And that was our review of AZ's new project, Do or Die. All right. And now we're moving on to our next segment, which is Talking Hip Hop. We're going to start off the Talking Hip Hop segment with Versus Ja Rule versus Fat Joe. I'm trying to pull a topic that is not controversial from the beginning. So let's start with this. Was it an enjoyable versus? Let's start with that.
Isn't the versus situation kind of it's very watered down, or just seem like they're picking names at random?
So let's see if I can. Swiss and Timbaland, they're out here trying to make what everybody wants. Everybody's not going to do that. 50 is not going to come on and do Jay-Z. I mean, and versus Ja Rule. It's not going to happen.
I mean, but it's not. But
thinks he's at another level than he wouldn't give him the credit. If they did the 50 Cent Ja Rule versus, how big that would be. There's no.
But I'm not trying to knock Fat Joe or or Ja Rule, but I'm just saying, like, it just seemed like those were just two random names that they pulled out of a hat just to put something together.
Fat Joe was the only person they could get to versus Ja. Ja is like blackballed from hip hop. You guys know that. He's been what?
But why them two?
Who else? No one else would do it.
Don't do it.
Swiss
Don't do it.
wanted to throw him a bone, and they did. And
Don't do it. You don't have to do it.
y'all,
You don't have to do these verses. I'm telling you, in the beginning, it was cool. You know, when it was Swiss and Timberland, and I mean, even in the beginning, it was just kind of like, oh, why those two? For them to turn this into like a franchise, I think it was amazing. I think that, you know, how they were able to just to transcend and everything, get all this attention. I mean, even to get like Earth, Wind and Fire and the Isley Brothers, which was real cool. But, you know, I still think a lot of these other battles are unnecessary, like Ashanti and Keisha Cole. That was unnecessary. Even Fab and Jadakiss, that was unnecessary.
yes, you're right on all of those. But you know,
I mean, the Dipset and the Locks, which I thought should have been more exciting. That was like a epic fail.
well, that was on Dipset. That's no fault of Versus. That's on Dipset. But I do want to throw.
I think it is. I think the Versus people have a responsibility to get groups that are get a group of people who are going to be enthusiastic and want to do it, because it was clear that it was just clear Cameron didn't want to be there, and for whatever reason, and then you know, even whatever they planned to do beforehand, it was like Jim Jones was kind of running the show. Nobody want to hear Jim. I mean, nothing against Jim Jones, but when Cameron's on the stage, you want Cameron to be front and center, just like everybody wanted Jadakiss to be front and center.
Yes, but if you are Timberland and Swiss, right, and you call these cats up, and the first person who picks up is Jim, and Jim is excited. He's like, "Yeah, man, we getting it. We're gonna do this." You already know Jada and Sheik Loke and Styles P then already said they are in. So the first person calls you back from the Dipset is Jim. You like, okay, so this is going to be something. So I'm not going to put this on Versus because and also this is the information I wanted to give you guys. So after the Locks, actually I think that was the first one. Triller bought out Swiss Beats and Timberland. So this is no longer their thing. They're still running it, but they're being paid as producers than ownership. Triller bought this out.
Yeah, and the artists get something on the back end too.
Yeah, they get money on the back end. So again, so this is a franchise now.
No,
and Triller try to make as much money as they can out of it.
And I appreciate that artists are be able to get paid, and I'm happy to see these artists get paid. But it's just matchups that don't seem necessary, even the whole setup just seemed unorganized.
Yes, but it's gonna get worse.
They need a host like the Earth, Wind and Fire and Isley Brothers one. A lot of people had complaints about Steve Harvey, but Steve Harvey he kept the show going, and I didn't get bored. I didn't feel like it was some of his conversations felt unnecessary, but at the same time, they need a host. They need a host to keep the thing going, because it was moments that it was getting cringy for Fat Joe, man. It was like very cringeworthy. And then it was like Fat Joe and Ja Rule. Fat Joe is not beating Ja Rule. He's not beating Ja Rule. You knew that beforehand.
So now we can really start getting to the conversation, because a lot of people, anybody in the Mid-Atlantic to East Coast area that I've been talking to in this last week, and I've talked to at least 20 people, they thought Fat Joe won.
Ja Rule got too many hits.
Did you not listen to on YouTube? You got to listen to on YouTube. Ebro in the Morning. They said that Fat won. It was several. Joe Buttons said that Fat Joe won. It was crazy what people were saying, because people are very old heads, or mid your generation, the golden age people are more upset that Ja Rule is actually the precursor to singing rap. He is there would be none of this stuff we're listening to now if it wasn't for Ja Rule. He was the first rapper to really be successful with singing, rapping, and then 50 came behind him.
I mean, old heads feel like it took something away from rap, not realizing that,
That's the old heads, nobody else.
Curtis Blow has a catalog of radio records. LL Cool J has a catalog of radio records.
Yes, but none of those records led to current rap, and that's what.
But LL Cool J had a lot of R&B. He rapped over a lot of R&B beats, but that led to what New Jack Swing ended up becoming, and how Teddy Riley took a sound that just wasn't for R&B or soul. He had a sound that was R&B and rap.
Yeah, my question is, why are people still upset by that? 50 or
Right. Yeah.
okay. Well, I'll say this on record, man. 50 thrashed Ja Rule. He did. However, that Rule 336 album was a banger. And
yes, but those things led to rap becoming more popular. But still, there was enough diversity that you still had KRS putting out music. You still had Coogee Rap still putting out music. You still had 8 Ball MJG putting out music that wasn't like, you still had Ghetto Boys still putting out hard music. So you see what I'm saying? There was enough diversity going on, and you needed the New Jack Swing to take it to the mainstream. I've heard Willie D and Scarface talk about this on their podcast, and they're right. You needed that New Jack Swing. But what we didn't need is for Ja to be as crazy successful as he was for 6 years in a row without much competition at the time.
Because nobody didn't want to do it, or nobody didn't know how to do it.
If DMX would have came out a little earlier,
no,
it may have evened the field a little better. If Biggie wasn't dead, if Tupac wasn't dead, it would have evened the field. Yes, it would have.
No,
he was literally Ja Rule was literally by himself for a minute until 50 came out. He was able to really just take over the airways. There were songs that he had that were played more on white radio top 40 stations than they were on R&B hip hop stations.
Ja Rule easily had like 3 or 4 songs charting in the top 10, and it was stuff that was his and stuff that he wrote for other people. So
yes, and that's what I'm saying, but it was still all singing rap, which led to where we are today.
I mean, did it help Drake? It helped Drake more than anybody else.
That's all I'm talking about is what your generation and my generation are talking about as far as hip hop is concerned. Again,
I don't want to.
Yes.
I don't want anybody to think I'm discrediting Ja Rule's contribution to rap music. I think it's incredible what he has done. I think he is an underrated artist. I mean, just from songs he did for himself and stuff he wrote from other people, or even the fact, even if we would have got that dream super group with Ja Rule, DMX, and Jay-Z, I think that might have been a top 5 group all time.
No doubt. That on 50.
Huh?
I said no doubt, but blame that on 50.
No, that group, no, that was Def Jam.
I understand, but once 50 crushed Ja, there was no possibility Jay-Z was going to touch Ja in that way. They were not going to be in the group after that.
Right. But I mean,
Jay had too much to lose. There's no way he could throw him a bone and let him in the group with him and DMX. Hell, he didn't even let him and DMX do anything because DMX was not the person he needed him to be. He needed Nas, and that's what we got.
Right. I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes with the verses, I'm kind of bored with them, and then this was one I didn't feel like Fat Joe had a chance going in. And not to say Fat Joe don't have no good songs. He don't have no radio hits. He don't have the radio hits Ja Rule has.
Yes. And then
he don't have the stage presence Ja Rule has.
No doubt. You're totally correct on all of this. But that was the debate over the week, was if you were a underground hip hop head, Joe won hands down. If you are a top 40, you turn on the radio and that's how you get your hip hop, Ja Rule won all day. That's all I'm saying.
No.
Yes, that's how it.
If Ja Rule would have brung out anybody from DITC, he'd have won hands down. He'd have shut it down.
You mean Fat Joe?
I mean, Fat Joe, yeah.
Yeah.
He'd have shut it down.
Yeah, but the people that he needed to bring out are gone. You know,
Who?
Big L and Big Pun.
He didn't need Big L and Big Pun.
Oh yes, he did.
OC's Word Life.
Oh,
come on.
Yeah.
That's no. You want to talk about underground hip hop albums?
Man, he didn't need any more underground. He needed more.
Man, OC's Word. If OC or Diamond D would have hit that stage, I'm telling you, it would have
made.
It would have set it off. It would have set it off.
But that's a nice segment to go into our thoughts on the features. For me, I know that Nelly feature was garbage. I didn't get it. I didn't understand. I got the song that he did with him, but then letting him go into one of his songs, that didn't match up to me. So anybody else got thoughts on the features? I thought Vita was strong. She needed that bone thrown to her. Little Mo is amazing. Always has been. Always will be. She is my Patti LaBelle of the new era. I love Lil Mo. Ashanti, she is what she is. She's something nice to look at, and people enjoy seeing her on stage. But outside of that, she's no Lil Mo. Lil Mo's voice is still just absolutely amazing. She's strong. So anybody else's thoughts on the features?
Ja Rule had the best features, just like everything else. Like everything he did was just better.
Any thoughts, Reaper? What about? Oh, I'm sorry, Remy Ma. Let me not leave Remy Ma out. Remy Ma killed the stage, and when she did Big Pun's part, that was epic. That was epic. That was worth watching the whole thing to see a female do Big Pun's part. How about what are your thoughts, Reaper?
Well, yeah, y'all notice I've been a little bit quiet. I didn't actually watch the verses because I don't really care.
Oh, okay.
But I watched
See
the Locks and Dipset one, and like y'all said, it was just such a cluster, man. And I was just like, man, why am I watching this? And I think there was another one that I watched, one of the older ones. But yeah, all of that, and they're just too long. Again, maybe, if you're there, concert kind of thing, you don't want it to be short because you might have had to pay to get in and stuff. But that Dipset and Locks one was like 4 hours, man. And I can just be doing so many other things in that amount of time. So,
yep, you're right.
It needs a host.
Yeah, it definitely does need a host. And even that one had Michael Buffer, and he looked out of place. And but yeah, somebody like I said, like Ebro or Charlemagne or
no,
needs to be a radio person. That actually, I think it needs to be a comedian. I wouldn't mind seeing TK Kirkland do it.
Yeah, well, maybe.
He's got a rapport with rappers. I think he would be, and he's funny. I think he would be he'd keep it moving. He's used to doing that. Him or either Perry.
But I think somebody that's too funny might try to make jokes out of stuff and take over the segment. You know what I mean? Somebody that does radio is gonna move it along. Maybe even get
yep.
What's his name? Terrence from 106 in Park.
Yes, that would work. Terrence, Free, any of the 106 in Park people would work.
Yeah.
Or the MTV people would work, but not the radio guy. They're just too. When you talking about Funk Flex, Ebro, Charlemagne, DJ Envy, they're just too biased. They have their people that they like, and it wouldn't go well. You would definitely need a Terrence J. Terrence J is not. He's been biased over the years, but not crazy biased like everybody else. Because like when Ebro did his review of this particular verses. He said that that Ja only he came up at the end to tie it, and I was like, huh? He came up at the end to tie it.
But that's Ebro. Ebro always does that though.
That's what I'm saying. That you can't. They're way too biased, just way too biased.
Ebro always does.
I think he was trolling.
No, he's not biased. He loves to say stupid stuff just to get a reaction from people.
Okay, all right, then I'll take it for that. He's trolling.
He always trolling.
All right.
He's always trolling. Ebro is a West Coast guy that a lot of people think is from the East Coast.
Okay, I'm with you.
Now, I'm telling you, if it would have been like Ja Rule versus a West Coast artist, he would have had no love for Ja Rule. None.
All right, I feel you on that one. I feel you. Well, let's segment this out and just say that Versus is becoming tiring, but it has an opportunity to be better if Triller is willing to put the work in. Let's just say that. All right. So let's move on to our second topic on our Talking Hip Hop segment, and that is, are double rap albums trash? So I'm going to jump in and say that I did a little research over the week, and I think that the all-powerful Reaper might have something.
All right.
He might have something. We're going to let my anchor man Kev, but I think he might have.
Wait a minute. Repeat your statement from last week for clarity.
I'd have to listen to the playback. I don't think I said all double albums are trash. I don't think I said the word trash specifically, but I do believe I said none of them are worth listening to front to back. There's a lot of filler. None of them are classics. I'll stand behind those words.
Okay, so I think for me, I kind of it bothered me, and I ain't gonna lie, it bothered me because you did mention All Eyes on Me and Life After Death.
Yep.
And so I took up the challenge. So this week, I went back, I listened to All Eyes on Me front to back and Life After Death from front to back. So here's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna go with Tupac first. You have a stronger case with that statement for All Eyes on Me. And the only reason I could say that is those last 3-4 songs was just very unnecessary. I don't know, they felt out of place. But like disc one, it was just good. It was like half street stuff, the other half the conscious stuff, and then you kind of like disc two start off with the George Clinton "You Can't See Me" with that sample and that West Coast funk. It all the way up into them last 3 songs. I was like, oh, I hate to almost give him credit for this one. I hate it. I mean, like it opened strong. Like the first 6 songs was just like I was just rocking. Like I was just in the zone. I forgot Red and Meth was on All Eyes on Me.
Yeah, for real.
He had the feature with Bone Thugs and Harmony, which at the time was shocking to a lot of people because so many rappers at that time were scared to rap with Bone Thugs and Harmony, and Bone Thugs was like in the middle 90s, they was the best group out there. Like it wasn't nobody solo or group really wanting to touch them outside of like Wu-Tang, and that was it. But they was beating Wu-Tang in like so many different parts of the world. So outside those last 3, that's the only way I can say maybe. Up until those last 3, if you took those last 3 off, it would have been a 4.5 mic album. With those last 3, I would say it's a 4 mic album because I think everything else could like hold up on its own for the most part. But now Life After Death, different story. Life After Death, I'm gonna call it a perfect album, and I'm gonna tell you why I call it a perfect album.
Woo! He said a perfect album.
Yes.
All right.
Front to back, no skips, no filler. Okay.
2 words: player hater.
Yes. Come on, man. Player hater is not filler. Player hater is not.
That song is.
Huh?
That song is too rash.
No.
Come on, man.
No. The only songs I will give you are the one with Little Kim, Another, and what's the other one? It's 2 songs. Damn, what is it? It's Another and a song that plays right before. If you want to say those 2 are filler, you didn't really listen to the album because the intro, you got the intro to set up the story he's going to tell you. And then the first song, track 2, plays off the intro to continue that story. And then when track 4 hit, Kick in the Door, that's it. the rest of disc 1, all the way into disc 2, was just take you on that roller coaster up. Now, when you get to that other song, it kind of come down a little bit because the album's about to finish strong. And then right after that, Biggie just took it home, and it was just perfect. Perfect. The album was perfect.
Yeah. I'm gonna and again I'm trying not to let recent events influence me, but you can have that R. Kelly track for real.
I can give you that. I mean,
Eh.
yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean?
No, well. Okay, so no. The R. Kelly track is not filler. It's based off of R. Kelly, what he did, what he's going through now in the court system. It's kind of like,
I mean, but not. I just even back in the day, like even when R. Kelly was still doing his thing, Chocolate Factory days, like early 2000s. Like I just
it makes you rethink a lot of his songs.
Right. I never really liked that R. Kelly song. I mean, I understand it. It's smooth. It's not just all the gangster stuff straight throughout 2 hours, and it was a single-ish or whatever. I mean, I get it, but I'm cool on the R. Kelly track.
Right.
I'm also cool on
and 12 play and all that. Yeah.
This is a hot take. Maybe I'm cool on Sky's the Limit. I don't like it.
If you're giving him that, you're starting.
I don't like it.
You're starting to add up filler. If you give him,
I'm cool, man.
You don't like Positive Biggie?
I'm cool, man. Like, and again, you know what? I think this is another conversation for another day. But have y'all heard that Biggie's third album, Born Again, was supposed to be a 3-disc? Have y'all heard that story?
No.
Okay, so I mean,
I don't believe it.
I mean, maybe not, but I think it would have been interesting to see how much filler and stuff, how many bangers and stuff. But if you look at the latter or the beginning stuff, even how Biggie was dressing with headbands, army fatigue, Timberlands, and then by the time he got to like Hypnotize with like the Versace shades and like the silk shirts and stuff, and by the time he hit Sky's the Limit and stuff, I don't know if I would have been as interested in where Biggie was going moving forward, because it seemed like it was going further and further away from Ready to Die, like that rough and rugged raw stuff. You know what I mean? Like even Juicy is like the single, but it's really just a breakbeat and him just rapping, telling a story. Like Sky's the Limit is like who's on the track? 112 is on the track, right?
Yes.
It's like 112 is like, and again, 112 was Bad Boy. I get it, but it was, I don't like the pairing. I'm cool. I'm cool on the song.
You don't like a positive song from Big?
I mean, do I want all the rappers and stuff to just live in the gutter forever? No, but I'm cool on it, man. Like I said, I don't want to just keep finding new reasons to justify it, man. I'm cool on it, man. I'm cool. And
for me, it was a perfect album. It was a perfect album. Even like I said, those 2 songs you could call filler, whatever. I think they were perfect placement because it helped the album finish so strongly.
I'm looking at an app, so it doesn't tell me the first song of disc 2. Is the first song of disc 2 Notorious Thugs?
It might be.
Okay, so
it might be because Notorious Thugs is 13. So yeah, if you cut it in half, then Notorious Thugs would be the first song. Notorious
Thugs, Cali, Crack Commandments, and You're Nobody. You can have all of the rest of those songs though.
What?
Yeah, man, you can. But and that's the thing that's about double disc albums, man. The first, if we look at disc 1, with the exception of the R. Kelly track, depending on how you feel, you could play the first disc front to back. But, and again, there's some variants in there. Hypnotize is the single. Somebody's Got to Die is a little dark. What's Beef is a little dark. I Love the Dough is, upbeat, a little more positive. You know what I mean? But
are you crazy? Oh, come on.
Yeah, you can have, honestly, man.
Notorious Thugs, 10 Crack Commandments, going back to Cali.
This is a hot take too. Honestly, you can have the whole second disc if you want to keep it funky. You can have the whole second disc.
The Too Short feature? You didn't like the Too Short feature?
I mean, look. I mean, I said there's some tight songs on this too, for real. But just for the sake of this argument, if you take away the second disc, if the second disc was never made, he. But let me finish. Let me finish. Listen. For the sake of the argument, if the second disc was never made, if it got lost somewhere, he only put out the first disc. Classic. It's
I think I'm in agreement on that one.
No, man. You didn't know this album. You sat there and talked about A&Rs and executives and all that. This song was, I don't know who executive produced or A&R this album, but they put every song in the right place and everything was right with this album. I listened to this album 3 times in one day, front to back, 3 times in a row. Couldn't find nothing wrong with it.
I didn't listen to it 3 times. I listened to it once this past week. And again, I'm not trying to shit on you, okay, but there was some filler. There was.
Man, I'm telling you, because y'all wasn't in the right place. I'm telling you, soon as Kick in the Door starts, that's it. That album goes to another level, man. It was like boom. And I was just like, I forgot this song was like this. I don't know.
And I mean, the thing about this and just every other double disc album, because there's only been a handful of double disc hip hop records. We can go through that in a second, but every rapper that's put out a double disc album has a single disc album that's better, or that at least one single disc album that's considered a classic. Nas, Jay-Z, Big Pac, whatever. And Life After Death, listening to it, it just makes me want to listen to Ready to Die, honestly.
What? Are you crazy?
Nope.
Blueprint 2 was unnecessary. And I like Jay-Z.
Man, it was really unnecessary, man. The whole.
Yeah, I can feel you on that one. I want to throw in one. Blueprint 2. That one. No, I thought that had less filler than Life or Death. I thought it did. I did. That's me. I'm just telling you me.
You wait. You said Blueprint. You said Life After Death had more filler than Blueprint 2?
I liked it. I'm sorry. I like that one.
Man, that's worse than what he just said. That most double albums are unnecessary. You dug a deeper hole.
I said, Life After Death had more filler to me. Just to me, and each person's their own. I thought Jay-Z had less filler. For me, again. Oh, well, if you think that's bad, I'm gonna tell you my favorite double album is Speaker Box.
Doesn't count.
The Love Below.
Doesn't count.
That's my.
Doesn't count.
It doesn't count. Yeah, he's right.
It's a double album. It came in 2 CDs. I bought it.
Yeah, but it was 2 different artists that just released an album together. It doesn't count.
It was a group who put out a double album project. It doesn't matter. It was a hip hop group that put out a double album.
One sang and one rapped.
Yeah.
He sang. It was 2 solo albums. It was a hip hop group who put out 2 solo albums.
And called it an Outkast record. Yeah, it's even in the title. It's called Speaker Box / The Love Below. It's 2 different records. Doesn't count.
Slash.
Yeah. Y'all throwing mud in the game now.
No, man, it doesn't count.
I like that. I like that project a lot. All right. What about?
Gosh, what is wrong with you two?
Forever. What are your thoughts on Wu-Tang Forever?
So yeah, when we were talking about this before, if there was gonna be one that I would maybe give you, it would probably, like, if I had to pick one of the double disc records to listen to front to back, it would probably be Wu-Tang Forever or Life After Death.
Okay.
Because and again, don't get me wrong, there's some filler on Wu-Tang Forever, but at least there's so many dudes in the group, and then like Capadonna started messing with them too. So it's like 10 dudes that's like, it's more of like a posse mixtape than it is like just Biggie rapping on every song for 25 songs, or Nas rapping on every song for 25 songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. I'm with you on that one. And speaking of our man Nas, his double album was straight filler.
Oh, what?
Yeah, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
That was a miss. So you all were like, he went hard on Illmatic. This was a miss me. You can miss me with Street Disciples. Yes, you can miss me.
Wait.
I'll
Don't do it. I took when that first came out, man. I played that on a road trip. I didn't skip a song, man.
And what about I know in diplomatic immunity? What about that one? I'm not feeling that.
What? Are you crazy? Diplomatic immunity?
You like diplomatic immunity? You saying that's a front to back?
I mean, I'm not saying front to back diplomatic immunity is. It doesn't have filler. I'm not gonna say it doesn't have filler, but diplomatic immunity got some hits on there. It got enough hits where I can listen to it. It'll make me want to listen and pull it out and listen to it.
Oh, dude, you definitely are the man then, because I'm telling you that was not the move.
Yeah, man. You know what, Kev? I will. Since you're saying listening to it, I haven't listened to Streets Disciple in a long time. If you're saying listen to it, I'll listen to it again. But no, I can remember when it came out and me being excited for a double disc record and just being really disappointed. So
they had a double album.
I don't know. Again, it's because they're too long, man. It's just too long, and I never paid attention to it until Reaper brought it up. I was like, you know what? I don't know. I when he brought it up, I was like, I don't know. I've listened to a lot of double albums. I don't know. Matter of fact, I'm gonna throw some real shit in the game. Ray Schmurder. I like their double album better than a lot of these albums we're talking about.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's some.
Yep. I didn't like the triple album. That was garbage. But the double album, it wasn't bad.
But again, when's the last time you listened to Diplomatic Immunity? Like, I listened to it probably 3 weeks ago. It's cool and it brings you back to that era. Maybe it's rose-colored glasses because you remember when they first hit the scene as a crew and you was like, yo, this is crazy. I'm glad to have so many songs. But if you're rating it as far as like classic or every song, no, a lot of them songs are unnecessary, man.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, the interludes. Do you know the 90s hip hop was oh my goodness. That was 90s hip hop right there. The interludes were funny.
Nah, Scorpion not there.
No, you don't. You said take them out. The Mad Rapper.
Yeah.
The Mad Rapper and Pain in the Ass. If they was on your album, you probably was going to have a good album because those two didn't put their names on nothing that was terrible.
Yeah, they did a triple album.
God,
yeah, the triple album was a lot, man. Wow, it was a lot.
Man, I'm telling you, go listen to the Mad Rappers album. The Mad Rappers album wasn't bad.
I don't know. I just think you got to go back and listen to them, Kev, because I gave at least 5 double albums a chance this week, and I got through them quick because I did a bunch of skip.
What do I got to listen to?
Wu-Tang Forever. I listened to.
Wu-Tang Forever's too long. It's nice, but it's too long.
I get that's what I'm saying. So if you want,
it feels long. Wu-Tang Forever feels long.
So what you're saying, you're going to die on the hill of life or death. That's what you're going to die on.
Life after death?
Yes.
I will say this. I'm not going to say double albums are unnecessary. I don't know if a lot of double albums were well thought out. Like I even though, you know, All Eyes on Me is by many people considered a classic. It was, you know, Tupac had so much going on in his personal life. And I think that's what elevates All Eyes on Me. Like if you take away him getting out of jail, him signing to Death Row, him hooking up with Dr. Dre, you know, him putting the Outlaws, really putting them on, it's a different tone to the album. So he kind of incorporated his personal life, which he was supposed to do, and made this album so personal. And you can hear the anger. You can hear him talking about his life on a lot of these songs and problems he had with people. So it's something different when you're not just writing a song, but you're writing your life. It has a different tone to it. So, but with Life After Death, it told this story. It picked right up from Ready to Die. I think the end of Ready to Die was Life After Death, and it kind of continued that story of what, some of what Biggie was talking about, even like, the part, like the song where he where everybody thinks he really robbed a New York Knicks player. I mean, it's just like, you don't even know. Like, it's people right now, they still talk about, did Biggie really rob this guy? Like, we don't know, but he made it sound so good that you want to believe he did it. And man, I don't know, man. It was I enjoyed the whole story. I don't even listen to albums like that. Like, I give it one listen, then I might play it the next day or another or 2 days after. Like, I played this thing the whole day, and I was like, I just didn't see it. I just didn't see it.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're sort of beating a dead horse. Oh, and to add on to your Blueprint double disc argument, even Jay-Z doesn't agree with that because he put out the Blueprint 2.1. Y'all hip to that record? So it's basically just the best songs from both. And if he would have put that out from the jump, he's like, oh, this a good album, But even he was just like, yeah, I was just kind of making records or whatever. And let's not talk about Scorpion and or beat or beat the dead horse of the two records from last week. But no, man, the whole bottom line too is, man, it's just a lot of the times, or even to go back to Life After Death, if you gave us the first disc and the bangers from the second disc and cut out the interludes, you got a solid 15 songs or so. Classic.
Oh, I really feel you on that, man. I mean, that's what's up as far as I get your opinions, and I'd love to hear the listeners chime in on this one. And you're welcome to email us at undergroovenetwork@gmail.com or check us out on social media with Instagram, which is Mix Air Rap Pod, or Twitter, which is Mix Air Rap on that. And we'll let Reaper throw out his social media shout out.
Yeah, man, you can find me on all platforms at the 313 Kid, THE313KID, Twitter, Instagram, Mixcloud if you're into DJ mixes.
All right. Really appreciate that, fellas, man. This was a very, very spirited conversation. And I look forward to trying to talk Reaper into doing this one more time with us, because I'm enjoying it. This is what we need. And if no one's telling you, then someone should. This is the type of conversation that needs to be had on hip hop so that you get everyone's point of view. And I respect Kev at a high level, his knowledge of underground hip hop, his knowledge of overall hip hop is at such a high level. I feel blessed to have conversations with them all, and with both of them. And I think that I thought at one point my knowledge was pretty strong, but being around them, I'm learning a lot, and I appreciate both of them, and I appreciate the fans as well. And just want to say, we out of here. Peace.